Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's most active music nerd, and it's album review time. Active Child, You're All I See. Active Child is the project of singer-songwriter Pat Grossi. This is his second LP under the name. This thing pretty much began as an ethereal bedroom recording project with a lot of laptop and synthesizer in the mix. And there wasn't really much to separate it from pretty much everybody else who was making music in the room with a laptop and a synthesizer. But even at the start of this project, Pat had a pretty unmistakable vocal. Very heavenly, very sweet. I wasn't surprised to find that this guy actually has a background singing in choir when I was reading up a bit on this project. One EP, and kind of an entire year later, and we've got this, You Are All I See. And this album comes with some really big improvements, ambitions, and sounds. All of these changes, all of these great sounds are apparent right from the start of the album. With Pat's vocals, they just sound like rays of sunshine breaking through clouds of harp arpeggios. These analog synthesizers kind of start swelling in the background, and it's given me kind of an 80s vibe. But overall, it's kind of like a dreamy pop opera. A dream popera. It's all very fine and pretty and delicate, a lot like an Antony and the Johnsons song, but a lot less eccentric and not implying artsiness in every direction possible. I love the sounds on the track, and most of this album I do, but it's not like the opener really has a song that I'm blown away by, you know? It's more like a pile of really pretty sounds, like butterflies just fluttering about. Not really a direction, more of a mood. But my favorite two tracks on the album come next, and they stick out like sore thumbs on this LP because they are very, very different. They're wrapped up in the same shimmering and glistening production as the other tracks on this LP, pretty much the same instrumentation, but the execution is different, and that execution is experimental R&B. Something that a fan of The Weeknd or maybe even How to Dress Well could appreciate. And I know I have reviewed albums from those projects and I didn't really dig them, but I am digging this. These tracks just really have very smooth beats, lovesick lyrics, honey-flavored vocals, and they're all just filtered through this Active Child lens with lots of atmosphere and reverb and pretty acoustic ethereal instrumentation just swarming around it like fairies. How to Dress Well is even on one of these tracks, and Active Child throws a little bit of a gritty, lo-fi-ish sound on his voice, just kind of maintain that same aesthetic that he had on his full-length LP. But what I love about the sounds here is that the beats are better, the synths are better, just everything is a better sound. I would love to hear these guys collaborate again in the future, maybe on an EP, maybe on an entire full length. I think that would be amazing. Active Child departs from the R&B stuff after these two tracks, and that makes me kind of sad because they're really the high points of the album. I'm not saying the rest of the tracks are bad, they just kind of evoke different imagery, you know? They make me kind of feel like I'm floating through space, or ascending to heaven, or listening to something that would be put on at a cult meeting. There are some tracks on the latter half of this LP I do love though, like High Priestess, which is this very bleak, atmospheric kind of art pop song in the vein of Peter Gabriel, or especially Fever Ray, considering how many weird chorus effects are on the vocals on that track. The track Way Too Fast is lyrically as lovesick as some of the R&B songs on here, but the vocals feel way colder, way more electronic. And that's kind of empowered by a lot of synthesizers in the background, a very steady, rigid beat, and the vocal melody sounds a little bit like something James Blake would even sing. And hearing those really kind of passionate vocals fed through the vocoder that Active Child uses on that track, it's really kind of freaky. It's like hearing a robot trying to emote. A lot like that movie Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams, where Robin Williams is a robot and he wants to become a human. I guess my problem with the very end of this LP is that Active Child, in my opinion, just kind of runs out of ideas a little bit and is recycling them. And that doesn't make the songs terrible to me, it just makes them a little less exciting, a little underwhelming, that's all. I'm feeling a decent to strong 6 on this. I liked it, but definitely not in love with it. What do you think of this, if you've heard it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Why? And what do you think I should review next? Anthony Fantano, Active Child, Forever.